Welcome everybody to the Squad 4 podcast. We are your hosts, Anton,
I'm Eli.
I'm Sancho.
I'm Yohan.
and today we're going to be talking about going back to school after like how many years we've been locked down and pandemic and online school pretty much. What are you guys'
Two
thoughts
years.
about that?
Yeah. It sucked. No, but I think yeah, for the longest time, at least for the Philippines, we were one of the few countries who had, I guess, didn't go back to face after like a year, right? When did America go back to face? I think after like a
Yeah,
year
just like I
and a
believe a
month
couple
or
of
so.
months. Yeah, after a couple of months.
Yeah, and yeah, so yeah, it's insane. 2 years and we're finally back. It felt like freshman year. Now you're not a freshman.
Yeah. It's like people who when the pandemic started, people who were 13 years old are now like 16 years old, which is
Yeah,
crazy. Like, and imagine the people who started schooling, so like kinder or like what would that be like prep, like they would
yeah,
be they started school during the pandemic, and imagine like having to move
Mm.
to face, like full face to face.
They have to focus on what do you call this, socializing. So I know parents whose kids grew up in the COVID time, and their issue now is their kids not being able to socialize with other people because all they know is online.
yeah. I can see that. I can see. I mean, I can see why. Because they were stuck like what 2 years indoors in
Mm.
front of a cam or something or a laptop or whatever, right? And you're thrown back into the depths. Yeah,
You
but
know,
for
actually, I
me,
know a couple
sorry,
people.
go. Sorry.
So for me kasi, well, a couple of my other friends, they also, well, ever since this lockdown, this no non-face-to-face classes started, they, well, socialize through social media, going through calls, Discord calls and all that. I know all of you know this because we all go through that. But,
Yeah,
now they're having sort of the hard time of socializing in face-to-face because, well, now you have some classes doing some blended face-to-face, and, just talking to a person face-to-face is so hard enough. Am I right? Can you get it?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, I agree.
And uh, as a student, I have noticed that there were people who were able to adapt to online and some who weren't. And it's a mixed thing talaga because for the ones that were able to adopt the online classes pretty easily, it seems weird to go back to face-to-face classes because it's back to square one of COVID, where they don't know what to do, that they built a schedule already. Parang ganyan.
Yeah, it's like a whole new routine again, basically.
Mm.
Um, what for you guys was the most difficult part of online school?
the
PE.
Wi-Fi.
PLDT.
Yeah, exactly. PE.
Uh,
Yeah.
Ako din P, pero PLDT.
Yeah, I have to say, PE alone is not as fun as with your classmates, I guess.
Of course it
mm,
isn't, You don't have the competitiveness as a face-to-face.
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah,
especially when you're like playing basketball, like you're passing it to a wall, it makes you realize, like, wow, I am just, this is happening right now.
Makes you
Mm,
We are
makes you
just
think.
alone. It makes you
mm,
think how
yeah.
lonely you are and how alone you are sometimes. Well, guys, in terms of learning, well, I think I'm expecting a certain answer here, but in terms of learning, what do you guys actually prefer? If there was no, like, in terms of like, if there was no socializing, if there was no French part, what in terms of learning lang? which is better for you guys, online or face to face?
Definitely face to face.
Yeah.
Expand, please. Expand.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay. I've had probably the same problem I've been having in online, which is well, Wi-Fi and understanding. You know, when you're in face to face, you know, it's so much easier to actually sort of learn things because well, it's visually there right in front of you, and you know you don't have that stupid screen in front of you like here, you know, having to lag out every time, you know. It's easier to actually communicate with other people, you know. You don't have to text them, you don't have to set meetings with them because well, you're the person you have to talk to, aka the teacher, is right in front of you in your room, you know. And basically a lot more well hands-on work and face to face because I'm sort of sick and tired using Google Docs because you know online is already sucky, you know, and having to use more online stuff on my laptop is already getting tiring. I need to go back to face, please.
Yeah. But then face to face, because online gets tiring. Cause it's a different feeling. So after a day of online class, I'd feel drained, I'd feel tired, just sleepy. After face to face class, I do feel tired and sleepy, but it's a different feeling, like more a good feeling. Na I accomplished something. I know it's online because it's a screen and I don't feel the achievement of doing something. So I prefer online without like friends socializing.
I there's just I mean for me at least I like face to face, but I feel like there are things online that you can translate over to face to make it um for me at least for in my mind it would seem more effective. One is like submission of homework because um you have those, especially when we went back to face to when we were at face to face, right? There are times maybe you forgot your homework, or you like forgot to bring it to school, or you like forgot to do it because you don't really have a reminder. At least with the option with Google Classroom, you can see your works and what needs to be submitted and whatnot, right?
Mm.
Yeah, just small things like that. I feel like that's really transferable. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem with both.
Mm. Well, for me, I prefer face to face school. Well, because mainly because I don't know what it is, but I feel like I understand things better when it's like a whiteboard or a chalkboard rather than like a visual aids, because I don't know why. I just seem to understand more and much better when it's that way. And also like face to face, like I think there's just a lot of things about it that's just amazing. I love it, you know. I and yeah, like what Johan said, I believe, you know. Um when it's face to face, when the teacher is right there, it's so much easier to ask for help, and you know, you don't have to like message them and wait for the reply for 12 hours sometimes, you know. So you can just walk up to them, teacher, can you help me with this? And to help you. So yeah. Yeah, it also builds that I guess scheduling and like proper habits, because during online school, a, a lot of people, their computers are right beside their beds. So sometimes they would just wake up like 5 minutes before class, or sometimes they would just lay down in bed while in class, you know. And it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, but whereas in face to face, you wake up way in advance, you take a bath, I'm assuming. You eat breakfast before you go to school, you know.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah.
That is true. That is true.
But
Uh,
oh, sorry. Go on.
go ahead.
In my experience with online classes compared to face classes, the only preparation I do is to try and look presentable before classes start. Because you won't need to. really shower because no one will really bother looking at you. And then the most I do is just make sure I look presentable. And sometimes I feel lazy doing it because my bed's right there, the computer's right here. I don't need to prepare for a bus ride or prepare for the heat or the socializing. Because really all I'm doing is waking up from my bed and sitting down in my chair and staring at the screen. And I think face to face is different. I assume better because then you'd have to really discipline yourself to a routine where you have your own health care system. And at that point, I think it's a matter of motivation then.
So I guess we can move on to our next question. What do you guys bring to school on a daily basis? What's in your people like calling it EDC, as in everyday
Mm.
carry. And they say that it's only applicable for those people who carry like who at least who have a concealed carry permit, so when they carry guns. But no, I think everyone has an EDC. Might not be the same as this guy, but it's your EDC.
Mm.
So yeah, what do you guys carry and why?
So my everyday carry is nothing really special. Like the most thing I have is my my Swiss Army knife. That's usually it. I'm not too I wouldn't say into it, but I didn't look into it as much. Or I still have yet to appreciate having it.
What would you use the Swiss Army knife for? Or like when some situations where you would need to use them?
Oh, some days I really have no use for it, but it's the thought of being prepared if something should happen. Like if the thought I need to cut something, just use that. But yeah, I don't use it a lot. I just bring it for the assurance that I know I have something if ever I need to do something.
Self defense as well.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go next. Actually, I bring quite a well. Um. So I think especially when you go back to school, most importantly, uh, okay, if you're a school that requires a uniform, at if you have an extra uniform, probably bring it because you don't know what day you're gonna have. Someday you might get spilled with like diesel or something. I don't know. I don't know what you guys go through, but yeah. If you can, extra pair of clothes. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of instances in my school, that I need like an extra, not just shirt, maybe shorts. So yeah, I like to keep full set of clothes in my bag, and I fold it up real nice and small. What else do I have? I have a actually same as Sancho, not a Swiss army as yeah, not a Swiss army knife, but I have a multi tool because I like to have pliers ready at hand for a lot of things. I tend to cut some wire also from time to time. I need to, or if I need to, handle something with pliers. Yeah. If you want, I generally don't use it every day, but I do have a personal, really really basic first aid kit for personal use, and a hygiene bag. Extra toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant. What else do I have there? Wipes. Sanitation wipes, just in case. Yeah, that's what I bring generally on a regular basis.
For me, I'm quite basic. I mean, pre-pandemic, I didn't really bring anything that's out of the ordinary. But one thing I learned definitely was to bring an extra of everything. Extra clothes, extra underwear.
Amen.
Um, yeah, because sometimes you never really know. Sometimes even though you're not planning it, your friends are there like, yo, Anton, basketball, basketball. No, it's so hard to say no at that point, right? You get all sweaty and stuff. But yeah, one thing I'm definitely gonna bring once we go back to face is like I said, like the extra clothes. Other than that, deodorant, perfume, you know, Yes,
Why do you
perfume.
need perfume?
Perfume's a bit
Gusto mo
much,
makeup
but
pa?
okay.
No, because I'm trying to smell
Okay na
good.
ikaw alcohol. You already smell good with alcohol, bruh.
Yeah, of course, alcohol, yes, hand sanitizer is important. Face mask, medicine, and like
Vicks.
Vic, Vic's big room. And yeah, I mean that's about as much as I bring. Sometimes I bring a basketball as well because I play basketball. Sometimes not varsity, but just for fun with my friends. And if you commute, of course, bring your umbrella, a cap, super important. If you like, you can bring sunblock, but that's optional. Optional,
True, true.
So yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, well, for me, I bring, a cap, for the rain and for the sun. Hashtag Philippines right there. Anyways. And, I bring my wallet because, sometimes people sell some stuff in the school, and you'd like to buy it. Food, a lot of food. My phone, all that, you'll be carrying it because if you need to call someone, your parents, you're sad. You gotta call someone. You're gonna have to put them on speed dial. And some clothes because well, no, one pair of clothes because I really get sweaty in school, not unless it's PE day, but that's to the question. And then a hygiene kit and a few face masks, and lastly a pen. Yes, a
Mm.
pen.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, especially now that you're going back to school, you probably want to carry at least two face masks at most, Because I've had I forgot what it's called, but I've had a face mask and the string broke. Have
Yeah,
you guys experienced that when you're like
yeah.
the string breaks of your face mask and you can't really use it? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really useful to have another, not set, but another pair of face mask.
Yeah. Well, I guess what would you do differently if, God forbid, another situation like the pandemic happens again? Like, yeah, like, and we would have to go back to online school. Like, what is some things that you would do differently the second time around?
Well, if it happens the second time, I don't think I'll be as affected because I've developed a routine for it. I've already I already know what it feels like. So I don't think it'll be too bad because I'll kind of know what I can do in the online setting. I know that um I know that I should set like times for myself when to wake up, when to sleep, or essentially like basic discipline for myself.
You know what? Cause I relied like heavily on uh for assignments wise. I relied heavily on the schedule, right? So really early on the pandemic, I was missing a few homeworks that I had no idea. I actually like legit I had no idea they were missing. It's not that I wasn't doing them or whatever. It's just I didn't see them and I didn't know they were due. And that was because of my YouTube notice. Because my YouTube notice kept piling on to the notice, so I wouldn't see them on my phone. And I don't usually check my missing or if there's a new homework. I usually get notified and I rely on the notice. So yeah, I think that went on for like a like month, 2 months into the thing, and I was missing like I think five or three things, and then I was already getting message by the teacher. They were like, just the normal text. They're like, "Good morning, Eli. You're missing like homework." And I kid you not, my heart dropped all the way where the sun don't shine. It was so funny. Because like I don't know if they thought I was skipping or what. I had no idea I was missing them. Yeah, but luckily I caught on. I turned off. I didn't. Well, yeah, I set all my YouTube notice to be sent out together at a really specific time so that it doesn't block out with any of the my scheduling for Google Classroom. So yeah, so that might be something that can help you just manage, I guess, your notice if you rely on that a little bit, and also check your missing and whatnot. Yeah, just funny stories.
Yeah. I guess like something similar. Yeah, definitely, I would try my best not to open any other tab other than the class tab because once I go somewhere else, it's hard to go back. You know what I'm saying? Um, Especially like when it's YouTube. Yeah, like what Eli said. Like sometimes I just see like some, like YouTube Shorts, especially now TikTok. Now sometimes at break time I like to check it on some,
Yeah,
but then once break ends and there's a class again, I don't get to finish the YouTube video, so like I continue it during the class sometimes because I like to finish what I start, like that and there. So
yeah,
yeah,
Well, I mean, for me, it's honestly the same. I just need to really just focus on class a little bit because, not gonna lie, unlike Anton, I actually go on other tabs while in class, and it's good to listen sometimes in, in class, because especially when you're not, interested in the topic they're talking about. So um, at least I gotta listen, and also some better Wi-Fi because, well, sick and tired of actually, not being able to understand because of all the lag. Thank you, Google Meet.
that lag, yeah.
PLDT ka ba? PLDT.
Oh, of course, every Filipino bro like that.
Yeah, we love PLDT. We love PLDT.
It's a yeah, love hate relationship.
Love and
Yeah.
hate.
Love hate relationship.
Yeah, baka naman. But
It's funny because there okay, because there are a few classes, like for example, singing class. Because at least for us, we have choir in our school. Um, I'm playing some kind of different song in the background because all we're doing really is just exercises, right? We're like doing some voice exercises, so you just follow along. So sometimes I'm in the background, I'm just playing like the most random things you'll hear. I'm playing like Minecraft ambience noises, like rain. It's funny. There's a time I was listening to a song. I forgot what I was listening to. I was listening to Wayward Son while doing the exercises,
sample,
and I
sample.
didn't mute. No, I'm not that good. I'm just there because I'm just there for just being there. But I played it right, and I played on my phone because I and on my laptop, and I have it like real close to my phone. I have my phone real close to my laptop when it's playing, and I wasn't muted whatsoever. It was so funny. Like everyone was just looking at their cams, and the teacher goes, "Is that music playing in the background?" And I checked my mute, and then I quickly muted. And then it was funny because I had 200 IQ. I unmuted. Yeah, I think I hear that too.
Loving tactics.
This is tactics. No, but yeah, like yeah, I'll have like the most random things. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I also fidget a lot, so you'll see me looking down or looking up, and I have like a pen or something. It's just something to help me focus, I guess. Well, for me, that's how I focus. It's just funny stories.
I
You
mean,
know,
honest. Oh, okay.
yeah, go on. Sorry.
Honestly, like who would want to listen to class without music, right? You're just
Yeah.
listening to the lecture. It's quite
Yeah,
boring
especially
sometimes.
yeah, especially with a
That's
test,
true.
like while you're on a test. You can imagine just silence while you're doing mathematics, while you're doing the algebraic, whatever.
No,
Well,
yeah, that's true.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah. Well, I know this is something we've all been a suspect of. Um, of you guys. Well, me personally, I did it back in 2020, playing games while playing the Minecraft.
Right before, yeah, but
While in
during, no, I
class.
never did.
Wow. You
Until to
should.
the
I
last minute.
Yeah. It I'd leave the game open. For example, I'm playing Minecraft and I'm working on a project. If for those people who don't know Minecraft, it's like a really it's a block game. You play as a person, you want to go like and you build stuff and whatever. You can search it up on like the internet, you'll see, or videos on YouTube what you do in Minecraft. But yeah, so like if I'm working on something like a project, I'll just leave it on in the background, honestly. This is funny about that is sometimes you forget and you'll hear like your teacher talking and you'll hear like a creeper noise or something. And, like you'll hear the hissing or like you'll hear like blocks being placed if you're playing with friends and they don't live in the same time zone. It's just super funny. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. But what music do you guys like listen to? Let's say um
You want the playlist? The whole playlist
Ikaw
during the
ready
whole
na.
day.
Oh
you know,
man.
honestly, I think we have the same playlist, Johan. But no, seriously, what do you guys listen to? I'm interested to know. Like, what do you have on the background if
Let
you're
me open my
working or whatever?
Spotify.
It depends on this topic. If we're doing science, I won't have songs with lyrics. Actually, I won't listen to songs if we're doing science, English, math. I won't have songs. But if we're like dance or whatever, where we just follow a video, I won't play the video, the song for the dance. I'll play my own song. What do I listen to? Hip hop. I don't listen to a lot of K-pop. Really old 2000 songs. Well, not old, old. But like I don't know, Mariah Carey or something. What's old? Hanaman? No, not really.
Like,
Yeah, but what do you guys listen
uh,
to?
well,
Like, ano ko muna?
I'm first, right?
Okay. Usually for like math, I listen to music because in my case, it's pretty easy to, I wouldn't say not think, but seeing the equation, you kind of go on a roll without really thinking about it. But for English, where you have to like get a bit philosophical, that's when I turn off the music. And I don't really have a thing where I listen to. I just listen to whatever song I see in any random playlist. And I
I
think,
see, I see.
yeah, sometimes uh, I listen to like hype songs during math class. So I end up getting really hyped up in
This is
this
getting hyped for a man.
when my teachers that teaching something. And then sometimes I listen to like not like mellow songs and stuff that just helps me focus.
True. I see. Well, what do you listen to? Like Mellow High on YouTube?
Mm, yeah.
I see,
Sometimes
I
it
see.
has lyrics, sometimes none.
Yeah.
Well, I listen to, honestly, the songs I listen to depend on the vibe. Like, if I'm feeling emotional, I listen like more Toro sometimes. Like, you know. But when I'm feeling hype, I listen to some Logic, some Eminem.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, yeah,
Amen.
sometimes some Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, Michael Jackson. Yeah, I listen to a whole lot of everything.
Wait,
Lizzo, you know what I'm saying?
not the judge or anything, but you get hyped on Justin Bieber.
Yeah, bro. Wow.
Really?
Yeah, just give me
Thank
I don't
the.
know. Personally, I can't. But you do you.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
I don't know that.
we should have an
I didn't
episode
know you
about
listened to Justin Bieber.
songs. Yes, sir.
That is true. Maybe yeah, in the near future, let's have an episode about songs.
Yeah, maybe next year, January.
True, true.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you have a cute song.
Depends on the class. If it's, um, if it's like English or Filipino, then I'll play the normal songs, OPM and all that. But when you get to things like math and science, I start playing very sad songs, breakup songs to be more specific.
Oh,
Gets in the vibe of of the sadness of those
Mm.
subjects, because I don't like those subjects.
this is no offense to our teachers or anything. It's the class, not the teacher. So.
It's the mindset. Yep.
Mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, mindset,
Tama, 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 tama.
Oh
Oh my
man.
god.
Well, guys, transitioning back to it's a new school year again. Transitioning back, especially now, having it being mixed. And what are your expectations? I guess, or what do you wish it would be like? Your ideal transition would be like.
Hmm.
Let
I
us
think
bring our laptops.
I think that blend of online and face to face is a nice way to do it, because that way, uh, people can really see if they do better online or face to face. I mean, they get to feel the transition and not thrown into it. Essentially, what they're doing right now. Because if they did immediately face to face classes, I don't think most people would benefit from that,
I
Yeah.
see.
because it's
Yeah.
thrown into a new environment immediately, and they'd be forced to adapt, as opposed to like easing them into it.
Yeah.
It's a more practical approach.
Yeah. And I must say, um, we we went to school for a few face to face classes already, and I must say, after just one day, it was so tiring already. I don't know what it was, but I went to
Oh
school,
yeah.
did our thing, went home, straight to sleep. It was just, even though it was just half day, like we went home at lunch and it was already so tiring. I don't know why, but yeah, it's gonna have to be a slow and you know slow transition, hopefully, and hopefully by November, maybe December, we can go back to full five
The full
days,
yeah.
5 days a week,
Mhm.
and um, yeah, that would be my expectation and ideal transition.
Yeah, actually pretty much the same. Uh yeah, so same as Anton, I also felt that the transition. I don't know. I really don't know why. Because like even if you work out or whatever for like 2 hours straight, and you're thrown into like face to face that you've already been doing prior, like 2 years before for like what 10 plus years, actually not even like 8 plus years or so, right? That you've been going face to face and you stop 2 years, you come back, and it's like you feel like a washed up basketball player or something. Uh, I don't know what it is. It's weird. Think about it. But yeah, somewhat slow transition or gradually climbing the intensity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Okay,
I'm excited to go back. Sorry, go.
so well, for me personally, I'm kind of the opposite of you guys, because at this point, like, even if we're going solely transitioning back to face, like, unlike what Anton said, na after every face to face session, like semi face to face, he gets very tired, and he just wants to go back to sleep. For me, it's sort of the opposite, because like my body and like my mind is still on the face to face mindset.
Mm.
It's always been since, since online began. So I don't really have a problem with the transitioning. Well, for the sake of of other students, yes, I'll let them have the transition. But for me personally, I don't really need it. because I can do both naman of online and face to face, and I wouldn't be that burned out. So, you know, just some differences.
Mm, that's very interesting. Um, so guys, as far as like restrictions, like, do you think in classrooms will there still be like social distancing with the tables, or like in PE will you still have to wear a face mask? Like, what? Or like, yeah, like would you still have to wear a face mask in school? Like,
Hmm.
how do you
I
guys
don't think it will
feel
make
about?
sense to do it during PE. In the sense na for yourself, because you won't have enough oxygen in that sense, or it'll be really difficult to breathe. And as for distancing, I don't think it needs to be forced, because I feel that majority of humanity still has that trauma of not being too close, at least from COVID.
Yeah.
Because there is trauma. There's the trauma of always alcohol in your hands. There's the trauma of always making sure you have your mask on, worrying about getting too close to someone. And I think that it'll naturally still be there for a while.
Yeah. Well, everyone, that is all that we have for today, and we'd like to thank you all so much for listening in, tuning in, watching. Um, yeah. Hopefully we see you again next time. And once again, I am Anton,
I'm Eli.
I'm Sancho.
Yohan.
and this is the Squad 4 podcast. Peace.